Hey everybody, what's going on? Huh? It's me! G'day trendsetters. Just trying to do a John from ModelRailer's. Sorry John, you're the best man, I can't do you at all. Why am I on the toilet? Well, because John decided that he was going to try and do one up for me with his community weathering project since I washed a freight car in the shower. He did one on the toilet. And because this is G-rated, I couldn't go any further than that really. You've done me out, John, that's it. I've got to go blue if I go past that. Anyway, so I'd like to present you my entry for the community weathering project, which I think is a great idea, and done by John, ModelRailer. And basically what it is, if you didn't know already, is you get a freight car and you weather it, and at the end of, I think it's April, everybody shows their freight cars and we all have a good look. It's not a competition. You know, no one's better than anyone else. It's all different things. Everyone getting together and having a go, and newbies like me with seasoned weatherers like RT and West Coast Rails and David Durbin and Dan's Road, all those guys, Gino, and you know, all those experienced weatherers down with newbies like me, all getting together and just doing one car and putting them all together. I think it's a great idea. Anyway, Atlas. Masterline. Now I can't see because I've been looking into the light. Dear oh dear oh dear. Masterline, very nice cars. I like them. Beautiful paint finish on them, factory. Very nice. So let's go out in the shed and we'll start this one, and then we'll come back at the end of April and show you what it's done. Right, here we are. So the first thing we're going to do is to give it a quick fade down and a little bit of dirt on the top. And I've removed the trucks. I don't normally remove the trucks. I like to leave them on actually. And that way you can get some of the spray from the trucks up onto the body here. But for John, I'm taking them off just for you, mate. We'll do them separately. And now there's pros and cons to doing both ways, I suppose. So I'll give it a quick dusting, and then we'll give it a wash. Okay, we're using Tamiya Wooden Deck Tan for a fade on this one. Yeah, you can hardly see it, but it is discolouring the top there. I've got it quite watered down too. I've probably got 30%, 30 to 50% thinners. So it's only a very, very light coating coming on there. Now the trucks are getting a coat of Tamiya red, brown and brown. They've also had a light coating of the wooden deck tan before this. Make sure you get the ends. Oh, don't worry about spraying on the wheels. It's quite easy to clean off. Okay, now we're going to put a little bit of rust on the roof, just a light powder rust, and we'll do that better with the powders inside. But this is just a light rust in between these bays here, where some rain and that water might sit there. Just very lightly. Remember, with airbrushing, you know, you think nothing's happening, and you look down again, and something's happened. When you're finished, always give your airbrush a bit of a squirt just with air to get any residual paint out. And I might go along the sides here a little bit more. It has been faded, but I might just give it a couple of little areas of rust there. Just maybe carry that down the side a little bit. We'd always, we're going to supplement that with powders as well. I think that'll do. Maybe just a bit on the other side. Maybe just a little bit there. Oh, just ever so. Right, the next thing we're going to do is apply a bit of a wash. And first of all, this is just a dirty blacky browny wash, just to bring out the rivets and stuff on the ladder. And then I'll do a darker black wash for the sides. Now, because we've painted the car first, you have to be careful when you're putting a wash on, because you may actually start taking your paint off. So if you're going to do lots of washing on a car, I suggest you do the wash first and then spray your airbrush over the top of the wash. Don't know if you can see that coming up through there, but it's in my other weathering videos, you know, the ones. Just using a dirty brown for this one. This is the black wash now. You can see how that brings out those hatches there. If you don't want so much, you can just go back and suck up any you don't want. Okay, so it's going to do a wash along the top here. And remember, don't freak out. It will dry a lot lighter. Go along the walkways too, just to get some shadow effect in those walkways. You can see we've still got our rust spots here underneath the wash, and then we can go over that with powders when we get back inside. Here we go. Now you can do some lines up like that if you like. Just that'll concentrate there a little bit. I've got a bit of a thing over here. Do I want that or not? I can get rid of it if I don't like it. I'll leave that. As I say, this paint on these new hoppers, especially the Atlas, are really nice. It'd be quite acceptable, I think, just to leave it with that rust on it like that, and a little bit of a tone down with an airbrush, because the paintwork is that nice, very nice matte flat finish. Now these lines will eventually blend into each other. Now it's up to you whether you want to do the wash before you do the rusting or after. So I'm still tossing up which way is the best. Right, we're inside now. We'll be using Pastel Powders today. These are a little bit more expensive than your normal weathering powders, but I like them. If you put them on with a palette like this, you can actually paint them on like a thick paint. Or if you put them on with a brush or something like that, they're very versatile. A little bit more expensive than your normal powders, but now we'll be using this one today, a rusty colour, and this is sort of a browny dirt, rail sort of dirt colour. These actual rust spots here are a lot lighter in real life than what they look on the camera. So yeah, they're actually a lot darker coming up on the camera there. But we might just put a couple of streaks in coming down here off these things here, And not too much more to this car actually. So what's really good is to use these little micro brushes. They're really cool. So just put a little bit on there and roll it around. And look, there's many ways to do this. And you can just carry it down there like that and flick it down. Not on there if you want. Now always do your weathering on a dish. I've got it on a plastic bowl. So all the powder that you knock off goes down the bowl and you can use it again. And you get a whole mixture of colours in the bowl there, and then you can just use them as a non-direct colour. Now, if we go straight down with our brush, we're going to drag them that way. If we go across, we're going to make them wider. So I just want them to go down a little bit. So I'm just going to brush them down there like that. And then I can just do a little bit across there. And we're done. Now what I'm going to do here is put a little bit of rust on this brush and just do a little bit of rust in here. Oops. Where this may have come from. Just a bit of a blend it back in there a bit. Now what we're going to do around this one, we've just got a bit of spill around here maybe, so we'll just get some of this browny colour and just take it around here. Now we'll blend it with the other brush. I'll get it underneath that walkway there. It's really important that you get yourself a really nice one of these blending brushes, really nice soft one. There we go. So I don't want to go too crazy with that, but drag that away from there. So you drag it to the cleaner sides if you want to go that way. Right, I think that's about all I want to do to the sides. What we'll do now is we'll move on to the trucks and put a little bit of spilled oil and grease around the bearings, and we're going to use some Tamiya panel line. It's basically just a really thin made up wash, enamel wash, and it runs really, really well. Just a bit of grease around there. With the trucks, we might put a little bit of rust on the side of the trucks. I mean, how many different ways can you do a truck? So we'll just use a little bit of powder. Maybe just a bit down there. Okay, so we've got our oily bearings there that are leaking a bit. Now the idea is trying to get different colours on the truck. So I haven't gone up here. I'll just stop there. Let me get our little makeup brush, blend that in. Now obviously if you don't want it to travel, if I didn't want the rust to travel up this way, I wouldn't brush that way. I'd brush up and down to blend it in that way. And if I want to, I can get the old cotton tip. And maybe just go along this top edge here. I don't know, it's only the second time I've done this. Should have a photo, Greg. Always have a photo. Right, we're just about done. And last thing to do is to clean the wheels. I just use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on a cotton bud. And just give them a go around like that. Now you can remove them to paint them, but I don't mind actually getting the spray on them. It gives you a few more different colours on the face of the wheel when you're weathering. Well, John, here's the finished car for your community weathering project. Thanks for the inspiration to get it done and get it out there. And if you're a newbie like me, I hope you learnt something today, and also give you the inspiration to have a go and get some weathering done on your freight cars.